Yes, 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 yes. This is me, Hudson Judge, today. My topic is, who is responsible for this evil world that we're living in? We're living in an evil world. We got to face the facts. And there are certain, certain behaviors and certain things happen in history that we could say or we could ask is if all these different factors are responsible for the evil world that we're living in, because the world is evil. Now, we have things like evolution, human beings, ideologues. So ideologues come from different ideas on gods. There are lots of gods out there, many gods. In Hindu religion alone, they have the most gods. Right? So then you have Judeo-Christian religion that comprises of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Then you have Buddhist religion, which is a branch of Hinduism and other elements from Hinduism. Even Rastafari religion, what they say is an African religion, has element of Hinduism. Because the founder of Rastafari religion also study Hinduism after he had problem with Pan-Africanism, Leonard Oil. Now, I was asked to write a paper on that when I was in school. So Rastafari have a taste of Hinduism in it. I don't know if most Rastas are aware of it. Then we have Christianity. Christianity have all different elements based on where Christians spread. You have European Christian, you have African Christians, you have all different versions of Christians. You have Christianity in the Caribbean, in the Americas, that is modified with African spirituality. So then you have Judaism. Where Christianity and Islam come from. And they are all different type of Islam too. But when you buy along, they are all Islamic. When you come down to it, all Christians will unite when the time comes. Right? So, and then who to blame? Is the gods? So many gods out there. No, okay. Now, those of us who were raised in Western society, we Christianize, including me. But I question Christianity. Right? Now you have wars in Middle East. We say Middle East or the Arab world. Since you're born, they're fighting over it. People who read the Bible told you these people have to be fighting over there because of prophecy and all kind of things. But then when you read history again, you read about slavery, racism, conquistadors. People conquer one another, and so now it belongs to colonialism. So now we see war or threat of war in the Southern Caribbean, which is the north of South America. Now, the religious people will tell you, oh, the Middle East is about what? They talk about the book of Revelation. But now, suppose there is a war between the US, Venezuela, Trinidad and Tobago, and Guyana. Where are our religious scholars to explain that prophecy, why there is a possibility that there will be war over there? Why they were only focusing on the Middle East? Right? Now let us deal with the evolutionary factor. Now something happened in Europe, what they talk about the industrialized revolution. Where in Europe, human beings were able to make automatic machine or automotive machine. If you could get machines to become automotive, you could move without manual force or animals pushing it. That's our evolution. Could it be the evolution of automotive machine is the main factor of that evil world we live in? Right? We don't know. Ideologue now. You have all kind of belief, as I said earlier. And they all ideologue tied to religion. And not living out political ideas coming to ideologue. Because it is said that Mao Zedong killed the most people in the world of China, followed by King Leopold of Belgium. Right? It is said they killed the most people. Then we had other wars. We had the German Nazis, they killed people too. Fascism. Then you had the Arab slave trade, the European slave trade. They kill lots of people too. So who is responsible for the world we live in? Right? Is it human beings because of greed, wealth, whatever? Is it biblical prophecy if you grow up in Western world? Why people been killing? We're living in an evil world. Man greed and man ideology could be the foundations of factors of those wars. Or is it the gods? What is it? Who is responsible? Now, ideology and greed run parallel, and they also intertwine. Because we see now in the Middle East, the Muslim world and Israel at war. Israel is what? What it is? Some people say Zionism. Some people say the children of Israel. Some say Jews. Okay, they're fighting. Okay. Should they be fighting? What are they fighting for? Now, I even watched a video with a black Palestinian. And when they asked him, the interviewer asked the black Palestinian, where did they come from and they end up in Palestine? He said that they came from Africa and they were taken over to Palestine to work. So so that means his ancestors was slaves, people enslaved by the Arabs or the Islamic or Muslim enslaved them, right? Same like us in the Caribbean, the Christians enslave us. Now, okay. Now, why I say it's human beings? Now, you have strong Christian will deny that slavery in the Americas was not orchestrated by the Europeans. They might put all the blame on the African. Now, if the Europeans was more advanced in civilization than the Africans during that period of time, they should know better not to go to Africa to buy slaves. And the Arabs, and Islam, if they also were more advanced than the African, why they enslave the Africans? So it's all greed again. So who is responsible for the world problem? Now you see, there is Venezuela, the US, Guyana, Trinidad, and Tobago. They could flare up any minute. The Americans say they're looking for drugs, or they're getting rid of drugs. Right? The Venezuelans saying it's not drugs, it's the American want the oil. Right? Now, should the US crack down on drugs inside the US first than sending the gunboat down to the Southern Caribbean? Question up for debate. Is it oil and gas? So who is responsible? Now, you go back now, you talk about conquistadors. Now, based on the history of the Americas, the Spanish were the first colonizers from Europe who came and colonized the Americas, right? The Spanish. They had a thing called the Spanish Armada. Now, then came the Portuguese. Now, you have people who say, oh, slavery, you blame the African. Was the African who told Pope Alexander the Great to share the world between Spain and Portugal and say what west of the Azores belongs to Spain and what so belongs to Portugal? Did God tell the Pope to do that? Pope Alexander the Great? So I have to ask him the question, is the gods? Then the Muslim now, he was enslaving the African. Was it, why he enslaved the African? Why he didn't go to him with the religion peacefully? Same for the Christians, when they were going to Africa. Why they didn't go peacefully if they're so godly? Why you took people out of Africa and enslaved them and raped them and exploit them and do all sorts of things to them? Now, go back again now. All colonized people are partly cultured by the colonizers. Right? We got to face the facts. Even some of our intellectuals in Western world will tell you the anti-imperialists. They colonized by the Europeans. Now, same thing in Islam. Now, the popular leader in Burkina Faso say, no more churches and mosques. He want to develop an economy. Okay, I support him there. But Islam is there already, and a small amount of Christian, right? So that is in his society already. So how many years he'll take to decolonize? You understand? So who is to blame? Then you have the Marxist-Leninists with the ideology. When you give them power, they're going to kill all the opponents. You put the capitalists in power, you don't want to pay for labor. But imagine the workers, give the citizens might have a little bit more freedom. Then the communists come or the socialists say, well, okay, let us get rid of capitalism and we're going to create equality. But do they really create equality, or they replace the capitalists? For example, how many of us ever read good novels and literature from communist country? No. Because state control. So creativity is being under wraps. Right? Creativity kind of censored if you go against the state. So who is responsible for the state of the world? Now, then again now, you have people in the Western world, they blame Israel for the war in the Middle East. Well, war is no good. I don't like war. But you're blaming Netanyahu, but you're still going to church on Sunday and Saturday. And you say King David was a good person. And King Solomon was good because they taught you that in biblical teaching, right? Now, some scholars say the Queen of Sheba was from Yemen. And she slept with Solomon in a sexual favor, so he wouldn't send his army to invade her. Now, if I go to church now as a Christian, they will tell me Solomon was a wise man. So who fooling who with ideologies? So if Solomon was a good man with wisdom, why Queen of Sheba had to sleep with him because of fear? And then you have a lot of black people believe certain people on the Horn of Africa are Jews. Why is King Solomon is sleep with Queen of Sheba? That's royal family. But how so many people on the Horn of Africa are part Jewish? So that means wasn't King Solomon alone not sleep with Queen of Sheba people? That means King Solomon had sent his people over there to have sex with the people in. If the story did happen in Yemen before they come to Ethiopia, so that means it's like what it was, an invasion or it was a friendly deal? Come on, man, talk to me. You got to unblock your brain and think. Right? So, now, we see wars, man. Wars in the Caribbean. Talking wars. Where is our biblical scholars who tell you they read the book of Revelation to open it and show me where in the Bible you will see a confrontation between Nicolas Maduro and Donald Trump and Kamala Bisesa and Afrina Ali in Guyana and Kamala Bisesa in Trinidad. And where in prophecy, my little island, Grenada, get kind of in the conflict, and now they're trying to retract. Show me that in our prophecy. All you with your ideologues and your religious inspiration. Now, the evolution what took place in Europe when Europeans were able to make automatic machine, the automation of machine. Now, I believe this is the biggest changer of the world. I believe that. That's my personal opinion. Now, in colonized country, the colonizers bring churches or they bring mosques, right? These are the people who colonize people, the Arabs and the European. But due to what took place in Europe with the industrialized revolution, the Europeans seems to be more advanced, and as you could see it with the conflict in the Middle East. Because Israel is fighting, Israel is a little place, fighting all these larger Islamic countries. So that it shows God's the win war. It's technology. So that means Israel have more advanced technology. So they're still standing strong. Now we got to look at now. Let us imagine there is a war in the Caribbean. What will happen? You got to look like that. Look at that. Who is responsible? Is it personal interest, ideology, the gods? What it is, man? Is it what it is? Who is responsible? There's so many gods in the world. Even the Bible says, thou shalt have none other gods but me. Because if you read the Jewish Bible, you won't see the word God, you will see Elohim. You read the Torah, you're going to see that. Where he said, thou shalt have none other God but me. I never read Islamic book, but I read the Torah already. I studied that in school a little bit. And I studied some biblical. I don't know much about the Islamic world, but based on what I know, the Islamic teaching is similar to the Jewish teaching. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. They believe in Moses. Moses' law is basically the same. Forgiveness is not too much if you go by the law. But due to the fact that the Israelis, some people say they are not Jews or the Jews, but they have a European culture mixed up with the Jewish teaching. So they don't have public execution like the days when Jesus walked the earth. So we living in a world where we have to ask the question, who is responsible with the automation of machine in Europe? The most advanced weapon they have now is drones. Drones and all kind of electronic system. And we see all these things in play in Ukraine. And if you are one in Venezuela, it's going to be used. And in the Middle East, you see those things. Men, fighters, Islamic people in Yemen is bombing Israel. Israel is bombing them. Israel is bombing Iran. Iran is bombing Israel. Even what is Qatar in Doha, or you call the place, they and Israel at war presently. One of them Arab countries over there, Saudi Arabia. So who is responsible? Is the gods what fighting? What do you want me to believe as a black person? We're living in a time we don't know what is going to happen. Anyway, I gone here. This is me, Hudson George. I gone. We have to question things. Who is responsible? Ideology, the gods, evolution, or just human beings? Who are the ones responsible? Is it all the four factors that are responsible? Food for thought. Anyway, this is me, Hudson George. I gone, till I come again.